We're live on both channels, so whoever we want to speak. All right. Well, welcome to the UDecide 2021. I'd like to welcome, we've got Rebecca Stabler, the incumbent, and we've got Sarah Althauser, the challenger. Thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. We went over the ground rules prior to this, but each candidate will get 2 minutes for an intro and then 2 minutes per question with opportunities for rebuttal. So we will start off with the candidate intro, and we will begin with Rebecca.
Great, thank you, and thank you for inviting us here. I think it's always great to have opportunities to discuss the issues so that folks can hear our views on things. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to ask us. My name is Rebecca Stabler, and I am currently the council member representing District 2 for the city of Centralia. And District 2 covers the downtown area and surrounding neighborhoods, and this area is definitely my passion. It is where I live and work and spend a lot of my time. And as I have certainly experienced and learned on city council, it's really the entire community that is my neighborhood. And so I have enjoyed really seeing where my responsibilities lie to serve our community at large, and even beyond that to where Centralia fits into our community of Lewis County. So I see, you know, definitely my constituents are here in District 2, but I serve all of the city of Centralia, and I am looking forward to continuing to do that with a second term on city council. We have some big things before us. We've done some great work over the past 4 years that I've been on city council, and we have some big opportunities and challenges ahead of us, and I am looking forward to continuing to serve our community as your representative for District 2 on Centralia City Council.
Thank you, and your chance now.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm Sarah Althauser, and I'm running for City Council District 2, and I'm just really excited. I grew up in Centralia. I went to high school here, Centralia College, St. Martin's at Centralia College campus. And I have a family. There's 6 of us, 4 kids from 2 to 10. And I'm just really excited to pour more into our community. This is just a wonderful community, and that's why I've chosen to stay here. I am a local business owner here. We just opened up a business, co-owner of that. I also worked with the Centralia Downtown Association. I wanted to start with my own neighborhood. I live downtown, and so the Pine Street Plaza, thought of that idea, but I thought, who can we work with to get this off the ground? So that's why I joined the CDA, to get that going, to provide a place for community to come together. Worked with the city of Centralia and amazing volunteers, and it was just so awesome to see that space come together. So I just love creating those community spaces for people to greet their neighbor and, you know, just have a great time. Also, an investor. So my husband and I are investors here locally, and we are constantly looking at bringing new businesses to Centralia specifically. So we have the building downtown, the Let's Play Toy Store. We always thought, you know what, we don't own that store, but that building, it would be awesome to have something for families downtown. We have such great variety. And so we reached out to them. And so just plugging in different people into our community is a big goal of ours. Real estate. My husband is a real estate agent, and so I know about the market. And one thing that Centralia really needs is housing. It's a big deal here. So that's one thing that we are also looking to bring to Centralia. But I'm just really excited to have this opportunity to serve you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll start with the questions, and we will begin with Sarah, where we left off. Question number 1. You've probably heard of the Blake decision, whereas the state Supreme Court struck down a state drug possession statute stating that it violates due process because it did not have the required mental state of knowingly. The state legislature passed a short-term fix making drug possession a misdemeanor. House Bill 1562 would give local governments like Centralia the authority to enact their own laws and ordinances relating to possession of controlled substances. Would you support allowing Centralia to keep possession of controlled substances a crime, and why?
Right. Great question there. Big question. So we all want a Centralia that is safe. We all want a Centralia where families, our grandparents, everybody has a place we can walk down and it's safe. So I think we do need to support our first responders to be able to, take action when needed and keep our families and everybody safe. So, thank you.
Rebecca, same question. Would you like me to say it again? A lot of words there.
It is a lot of words. I think I can.
You got it? Okay.
I
Okay.
know the gist of it. So, I think it is. My views are that it's critical that our community be a part of the broader community of Washington State, and so I would support engaging in the conversation about how laws affect local jurisdictions such as our own, and ways to continue to improve upon the laws of our state, and to be in the conversation about what those laws mean down at the local level. I would not support just going rogue and coming up with our own laws separate from our broader community that we are part of. And so I don't want to say I will sit back and let things happen as we're told they must be, but I want to engage in the conversation and be a part of the conversation with all of our neighbors in our state.
Thank you. Oh, we got a rebuttal.
Just more of an add-on. Yes, I definitely would agree that it is a place where we need to start with the conversation and bringing up. I do think we need to support our first responders. We need to, dig into it a little more and have that conversation to really iron it, what it all means. So yeah.
Thank you. Okay, question number 2. Rebecca, we'll come back to you. All individuals have a past history in their personal and professional lives. Before you entered the public life, was there anything you wanted your constituents or potential constituents to know about you and your past?
That would take a long time to tell all about my past. I guess all I would want folks to know is that I have been passionate about my community here locally and growing up here, and that I did leave this community thinking that I would never come back because it was just a sleepy little town that was on the downhill slide, and I wanted to move on to bigger and brighter things. And I lived on the East Coast for 20 plus years, and what I discovered was that no matter where you are, it's about your neighbors and it's about your community. And I did choose to come back here, to move back to the area, again, thinking I wouldn't stay here. But I realized that I could be a part of this community, and that this was the kind of town that I would always want to seek out. And here it was, and it was my hometown. There are times when I would like to not be living in my hometown. I want to be known for having wider interests and passions and experiences that go outside of this, but I feel like I bring all of those to this community and to my role on City Council. I don't have a background in politics. I don't have a greater desire to be in politics. I just want to make our town the best that it can be, and follow the mission of the Centralia City Council, which is to create the most enviable and livable small city in the state of Washington. So that is really my goal and drives me every day.
Thank you, Rebecca. Pause for a second. Have some technical difficulties.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
20 seconds. Time up. Okay,
Oh,
it's kind
we
of
can-
glary, so I was like.
The first one will be 20 seconds.
Kind of frightens people. They're like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to remember the question. I wanted to know more about. Okay. I can keep it right we go.
That's not fair.
No, I was trying to remember the first. Well, I was
gonna
trying to
go
remember the first
again.
part of that question. But yeah.
All right, we're back on. Sorry about that, everyone. So we will continue on. The same question to Sarah. I'll restate the question. All individuals have a past history in their personal and professional lives. Before you enter the public life, is there anything you want your constituents or potential constituents to know about you and or your past?
All right. So I grew up in Centralia, and I actually got the honor of filing on what would have been my mother's 67th birthday. This community is so important to me and so special to me because I still meet people just on the way here. I knew your mom. I just went to your dad's office and I was talking about your mom. And so my mom had passed away at 38 just before 9 days before I turned 7. And she's just the most amazing person ever. Just an awesome role model. And I just remember her, even when she was sick with cancer, we would go and we would serve our neighbors. We would go to the senior citizen, this gal that had no visitors and, read to her, bring her stuff. And so she's really what inspired me to actually run for city council, just the way she served and loved our community. And also our community, because after my mom had passed, people just flooded with food. Here's my dad with two small kids. And so that really was my inspiration. I was so happy. May 19th, my mom's birthday, I filed. I waited till midnight to file. Our community has just been so amazing with the big flood of 96. I remember 14 inches in the house. And what could have been just a devastation, our neighbors were so awesome. They invited us across the street, and it was one big slumber party. So just what our community has done in my life has really made me want to pour back into everybody else's life. And I could name, thing after thing, but that's just a little the reason why I want to serve Centralia, because Centralia has just been open arms to me and my family.
Thank you. Okay, next question, and we'll continue on with Sarah. Question number 3. Why should the taxpayer vote for you over your opponent for this position?
Right. Well, I think I offer some fresh ideas. I have a family here, very invested locally here. We're all about bringing in businesses. I'm looking at quality of life. I'm not just saying, let's do it. I'm getting involved. I'm working in my neighborhood with the Pine Street Plaza, and I'm a team player. So my background, I was a kindergarten teacher. And so just working with people, creating this environment is something that I feel that I do well. And so I think that, knowing the housing market, that's something we need. I will push for these things, and I'm a great listener. So I love wisdom and advice, and I think that I could really work with our community and city members to make some action happen.
Okay. And Rebecca, same question to you. Why should the taxpayer vote for you over your opponent for this position?
The last couple years have been challenging for our community, for the city council. With the restrictions of a pandemic and challenges financially for the community, but we've really continued to do excellent work. We now have an opportunity before us with a significant influx of funds with the American Rescue Plan, and I feel that my experience on council has given me the opportunity to meet those projects and those opportunities running. I have the background. I know where The things that we have done, the things that we have before us to do. I feel like we've been good fiscal stewards of our city's resources and really driving the community forward and into the future. And I bring that passion for innovation to really make our city the best it can be with the experience that I have, not just here, but elsewhere, and be creating partnerships. I think I've had good background in that, in working with Twin Transit and really turning that organization around and moving it forward to some really exciting things that we've done and that have ahead of us. And I think it's a very critical time for the city and for the council to have experience. We have some big things ahead of us with laws, monies, opportunities, development, the housing issues, and I would really like to continue the work that I've begun on City Council and have been doing for 4 years, and I think that will be a benefit to our community.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we've got a rebuttal.
I just wanted to also mention that I have met with Rob Hill at the City Council, our manager, and Emil Pearson and Brett to go over finances, and I'm setting up a meeting with Kim Ashmore, and so I'm just really looking into really digging into those things, because I've got a lot to offer, but I've got a lot to learn, and I really love our city, and I love that there's so many people to get wisdom and advice from.
Thank you, sir. Okay, question number 4. We'll go back to you, Rebecca. This is a long one, so you might want to have some notes ready, okay? All right. Here we go. Each year, local governments may choose to increase their local property tax levy by the lesser of 1% or the implicit price deflator. The local government can, there's 3 choices here, vote to increase the property tax, vote to not increase the property tax levy, but not bank the increase for future need, or vote to not increase the property tax levy and bank the increase to be taxed at a later time, if needed. You are a Centralia Council member. Can you tell us what your vote would be and why?
Certainly. This has come before us on the City Council each year that I've been on it. This past year, I did vote to not do the increase and to bank the monies, given the situation that we're in right now with the challenges for our community with finances and the situation with jobs and employment and housing and all of that. In previous years, I have always voted to take that increase that we are allowed, and that would still be my stance. I had that experience as a business owner. The cost of goods goes up, the cost of doing business goes up, and I feel like the cost of running a city goes up. And to do an incremental, a very minor increase to the property owner, it's not a huge amount of funds. I think 2 years ago or last year, it was about $7,000 in total for that the city would get. And we can use those funds for things that come up. And I think it's much wiser to have that incremental increase that isn't a huge burden on the property owners, rather than waiting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and then use our opportunity to put that increase. And then it's suddenly a much greater burden for the individual. So I think that we can be good stewards of the money by incremental increases. I feel like that is a wise use of the funds that the city has and the opportunities we have before us.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, Sarah, same question to you. I'll restate it. Each year, local governments may choose to increase their local property tax levy by the lesser of 1% or the implicit price deflator. The local government can, one of 3 choices, vote to increase the property tax levy, vote to not increase the property tax levy and not bank the increase for future need, or vote to not increase the property tax levy and bank the increase to be taxed at a later time if needed. If you were a Centralia Council member, what would your decision be and why?
So I think, especially in light of COVID, it's been a tough couple years. And so, I would vote not to increase it. because, people need hope right now, to be honest. There's so many taxes and jobs, loss of jobs. And I just think that we need to really look out for our community members and make sure that they can make it. I think it's the right thing to do. And I think it is wise to do that incremental increase. That way, it's manageable. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, and now our final question, and that's from you, Sarah. Our community, like many, is in need of more housing inventory for all income levels. What three things, either city code revisions or budget investments, do you believe the city can do to create greater housing development?
Great question. Infrastructure is huge. We need to have sewer lines. If we want developers to come to Centralia, we need to have the infrastructure. We need to be working with developers, but we also need to hold them at a high standard. We only have so much here in Centralia that we can develop. There's areas we can develop, but so much space for that, where we need to have the sidewalks. Of course, there can be variances in specific areas. I think Cooksville in the past, but we need to have infrastructure. We need to have sidewalks, and we need to work with developers to bring them in. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca, same question. Our community, like many, is in need of more housing inventory for all income levels. What three things, either city code revisions or budget investments, do you believe the city can do to create greater housing development?
Well, the city is, and the city along with other community members in the county level are putting together a housing summit. So as a first step to really do an inventory and work with the state requirements for that inventory as well, to what housing we have and where our needs really lie. So my first, I guess, place that I would say we need to invest is planning and gather information so that we know what we need, and then we can plan how we go about addressing that need. If we just go out and say, let's just approve a development for multiplex housing when our need is for higher income level, single family dwellings, we're not gonna address the needs. We need to know what the needs are. So I think investing in that planning and research is critical. I agree with Sarah. Infrastructure is definitely needed. We need to look at where we can work with developers and best get sewer lines in and get water, get the infrastructure to allow that housing development to happen. And the third would be to do a review of our ordinances. Are they appropriate for the areas, for the types of developments that are needed in those areas? And I've been on a subcommittee of the city council looking at some of those zoning ordinances, and we're about to embark on a bigger, look at it in more depth as well. So I think those three things are very critical. We must plan, we must have the infrastructure available, and know what we are about to do.
Okay, and that concludes our questions. So now I'm going to allot each one of you 2 minutes for a closing statement, and we will start with you, Rebecca.
All right, well, some of this will just be kind of a repeat of what I've already said, but I have very much enjoyed the last 4 years, or coming up to the end of 4 years on the City Council, and am looking forward to continuing that work. As I said, the last couple of years have definitely been a challenge for the city, for the council, and for our entire community. But I'm very proud of the work that the city staff, along with council, has done to stay steady on some of the projects that were underway and really move forward on new projects and new improvements. I look at the work that we're doing on housing and how we're meeting those needs and assessing the needs before us. We've working on partnerships for projects such as the Early Learning Center. We are in phase 2 of a major flood management project. And we've really, tried to use our dollars as to the best possible benefit to the entire community. And now we'll move forward with new projects, with new monies coming in, and I really want to embrace the opportunities before us and continue the efforts that we've put in place with vision and stewardship. And I think that takes dedication, it takes experience, and I feel like I bring both of those things to the City Council, and I really look forward to continuing that work within our community. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sarah, 2 minutes for you as well for closing statements.
Great. My motto is growing better together. And I really believe in collaboration and working with others in our community and getting that wisdom and advice and just digging in together. Part of what it means also in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in Centralia, we have unprecedented growth here. I don't want to waste the opportunity. There is so much growth here. We have housing needs, and we need to encourage developers while holding high standards so we can provide our community, no matter what your income level is, with great neighborhoods. We need that for our community. I would like to continue with the improving of the streetscapes, creating a master plan that coordinates our whole city as a unified theme. I love the work that they started on Mellon Street, and I think we need to hold the same accountability for Harrison. We need to connect, we need to look at all of Centralia globally. We want to bring people off the freeway. We've got the outlets. We've got the sports hub. We need to bring them all the way downtown so it's just, everybody can see Centralia has it going on. So I'm really excited. I'm a team player. I worked with 10 kindergarten teachers. That's a feat, and lots of parents. And so I'm really used to working with people. And I would really love this opportunity to serve you and work with you. So I would really love this opportunity, and I will work hard. Another thing that one reason why I did want to run for City Council is when I was working for the Pine Street Plaza, just it was so much support, but noticing we need some team unity. We need to work together. And so I think our community could really work all together. And so anyways, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank both of you, Rebecca and Sarah, for coming in today and speaking with us and giving us your position on this. We do have another debate coming up at 4:30, so be sure and tune into that. So thank you for your time today.